Mary on my mind.
Hey, Scott Fitzpatrick is in the house. It's good to see you, man. Love seeing you on the shows with Bobby Nick and Bobby Fran. Yeah, it's good to see you here, brother. I hope you're doing well. I want to say you're Canadian as well. Am I not mistaken? Cheers to Son of Castro. For sure, man. Oh, come on, HD. Be nice. He's referring to Scott as filthy. Now, that's not very nice for a Tuesday morning, right, Scott? Scott's like, yeah, well, today I am a little filthy. I was working on the car or something. Who knows? You got dirty hands. That's all right, man. I always say, if you don't get dirty, you probably haven't done anything. I mean, hell, I still change my own timing belts, change my oil. That's just something I like to do myself and have the peace of mind knowing everything's done right, the filters, all that stuff. It's just, it's fun. At some point, you have to say, well, do I have time for this? But I always try to make time for that. That's important stuff to me anyways. And I enjoy doing it. Just like my old tractors possible. And HD says, he has nothing else, Dabble. I don't get that. And Scott says, right on, LOL. I'm from the cornfields of southern Illinois. Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, well, it's not too far from Joey's Sea Country and, well, southern Illinois. That's I guess that's a good ways down. Right? And there, I know that there is some really fertile soil in Illinois. So you have that. A lot of great farm country that's turning into housing, as I understand it. That's okay. There's still plenty of deer that are roaming there, and there's some good eating, right? And Ross says, interesting with some Southern heritage. I don't know. Maybe they're not all out to please you, Mr. HD. I don't know, or Mrs. HD. I don't know how you identify today. Scott says, flick the bean button, you effing cowards. All he is. Yeah. That's a good point, actually, Scott. We're not monetized here. You can support the Catalano TV by joining the Patreon, which Joey has some things planned for. And, we appreciate our listeners. There's nothing more valuable to a channel than its listeners. And we appreciate, we thank you. And also, it doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button. And it really does help the channel a lot. And I know Mr. Big Shot appreciates it too. We're a growing channel. Joey's a rising star in the Dabbleverse, so to speak. He's going to transcend the Dabbleverse, basically. I mean, it's going to get bigger than that. And at some point, he'll be looking in the rearview mirror saying, Dabble what? At least that's my prediction. And HC says they won't accept help, even if you're coming from a good place. I don't know. Most Americans... Well, I can't say most, but most reasonably minded people don't give a shit where you come from. I know what you're saying in terms of good place with good intentions, but yeah, I never cared where somebody comes from, any immutable characteristics. It's all how you are, how you treat people. At least that's how we try to live here anyways. And HT's attacking Scott, man. I don't understand it. Scott's good people. I don't think I've ever seen Scott attack anybody, so I'm not quite understanding. But maybe he's offended by saying you effing cowards for not hitting the like button. If that offends you, man, you're in the wrong place because you got to have a sense of humor to be here. Isn't that right, Scott? At least that's my take on it. Oh, my goodness. Saying somebody's not even human? HD, what is it that you see that conflict gives you joy, or what is it that about conflict that you take pleasure in? It's hard to understand. People's motivations are sometimes a mystery, right? Here we have Ross saying there is a theory that the 1960 Jersey shark attacks were committed by a bull shark. Huh? I guess that's possible. Yeah. I don't have a problem trying to understand that. That's possible. Mm-hmm. I see that HD is shown to be a foe, not friend at all. Like Scott knows how to disarm a troll. As Scott says, HD Tutor, I'm filthy because it feels good. Yeah, you put that one to rest, Scott. I got to say, he knows how to handle a troll, no doubt. Yeah, Rostock. So what else we have here? HD doesn't see the entertainment value. I'm not sure I understand that. And I'm not sure I understand this either. I prefer Kai to those guys. I'm not sure I understand that. I agree with someone that Kai does try. Well, I hope I try, man. I mean, come on. Of course I try. I mean, when you're doing this stuff out of the goodness of your heart, we can call that trying. Don't you agree, Ross Dogs? Rostock says, we'll miss you.
Alcazar, under the authority of Francisco Pizarro, occupied the Indian city of Quito in what is now Ecuador. Okay, first of all, it was not the Indian city.
Star Trek figures up his buttocks. Okay. Hey, so what's Scott have to say here? I would watch this live more often, but it's early for me. I catch it in the replays when I can. I haven't been to bed. LOL. Damn, Scott. Yeah, you guys. I know. I've seen you're on a couple different shows, if I'm not mistaken. Man, you're busy, dude. That. Yeah, you got to sleep when you can, right? But so you've been up all night. I don't know how you do that. I honestly can't do that. My brain will shut down. So we're glad you're here, though, and I understand you can't always make it. So we appreciate you being here, Scott.
Well, I could tell you what, I could stay up all night.
You could?
I could,
Damn.
but I haven't done it lately.
Yeah, I can't. I can't do it, man. I mean, I've done night shifts when I was a younger man at, like a summer. Sunny says, okay.
It seems to me all the jobs I had was 10 hours. Then with the holiday season, I had to work 11 hours.
Huh. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to hit it. Yeah, I could be grumpy. Yeah, it's the human condition. Everybody has those moments, right? Maybe
That's right.
Ate something, didn't agree with you, make it grumpy, or you didn't eat, that'll make you grumpy, or somebody didn't treat you quite right, that'll make you grumpy, and you lose a loved one for sure. You're grieving. Scott says, I enjoy the eerie silence during the snow in the woods. Yeah, nice. I think, Scott, if you mentioned, I think you said you're down in farm country, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't you say you're down in corn country? Obviously, you're in the woods, but you're close to corn country. It sounded like you said last time anyways. I know there are some real fertile soils in Illinois. I want to say that's where you said. Southern Illinois, but Illinois has got some of the best farmland in the country, as I understand it. Very rich, fertile soil. Ruth says, Scott has a filthy mouth. Well, he hasn't used it here. I haven't heard Scott say anything filthy out here. He has fun on the shows, man. I mean, when Scott he lights shit on fire. Scott does crazy shit, man. I worry about him. Just like, hey, man, be careful. He's like, Fuck that, man. I'm burning this shit. Something else, man. It makes you laugh. Yeah, it's always a good time catching those guys. You know who I'm missing? I haven't seen Bobby Nick in here in a while. I hope he's doing good too. Those guys have a lot of fun. And I catch them with the Bobby Fran show too, where both those guys are on with Bobby Fran as well. It's entertaining. If you get like sometimes I have a lunch break, and I'll just check out what those guys are doing. Big Ed dominates small fat. Oh well. He says I'm pretty great. Well, and Ruth, what is that? That's not Booker's. What is that?
That's soap.
Soap. Okay. Here's some soap, buddy. Yep. Scott's like, yeah, I'm still here. What are you talking about? Wash your mouth out with soap. I got it. Yeah, that's a good one, Ruthie. She's got all the little icons. She knows how to work them good. But I need Mr. Big Shot to translate for me. Oh, that's soap. I'm like, I was asking, is that Booker's? Got Booker's on the brain, huh? Miss Honeybee. Thank you. Yep, that's Miss Honeybee found that. Yeah, Southern Illinois. Don't you hate when people say Illinois? Are you in Illinois? How about that one, Scott? Do people say that to you? Where are you in Illinois? No, I'm not in Illinois. I'm from Illinois. Bruce says, yes, he has. He feels the bean things every time. That's filth. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I see. You're right. I get that part of it. It's funny because some of those things I leave them open to interpretation, and just say, okay, that's their funny way of saying, hit that like button. But Ruth chooses to take it in the worst way possible. She says she's not in the best mood today, so I understand it. That is filth. Yeah. I have a dear friend who refers to his wife as Bean. So, maybe I'm a little open to interpretation on that term a little bit, because I'm sure he doesn't mean that in those terms. And she is a vegetarian. Scott says, I try to gauge my mouth with the audience. I don't mean no harm and have respect. Yeah, I know that about Scott, but yeah, right. If sometimes when you know somebody's intentions, he's not. He's having fun with his choice of words, and he's making it. He thinks he's just making it interesting and entertaining to say it in such a manner. And I understand Ruth's a little more sensitive about that. So yeah, we can understand both perspectives on that, right? Hey, Ruth says, I taught you. See, look at that. Scott's good intentions. Sorry, Ruth. He doesn't mean to offend her. So that's nice. Scott's a good guy. You know that? If you watch him, you can tell Scott's a good guy. Good people. All those folks on Bobby Fran and that, they're just good people. It's okay to eat fish because fish don't have any feelings. People don't mind. You gotta be careful, right? Ruth says, Scott doesn't have a bean. I do. Scott can talk about tickling the pecker or something. Oh man, Ruth's taking it there. Justin's laughing. Ross, the outsider